Good morning, everyone. We are Group 3, and this is our group survey about cultural differences. Oh, and we coordinate our dressing color as black and white because it is simple and good looking, and most of us have it. It can also be a celebration of Kung Fu Panda 4 release. Oh, sorry. And this is our table of contents. First, we're gonna talk about some background of our interviewees. And to outline 2 to outline 6, it is our aspects of questions. We have language, etiquette, food, living style, and environment. And outline 7 is our reflection about this project. And next we have Q&A. So, our interviewees come from many different countries. We're from Germany, France, and Poland, and Turkey, which is Europe and Middle East. And we have Vietnam, Indonesia, and Mongolia. And I think Mongolia is from Middle America. And we happen to find 7 female and 7 male, which is a very even situation. And the first question is, what is the official language in your country or in your hometown? Like some of the countries is very obvious, like France, they speak French, but in Colombia they speak Spanish, and Poland speaks Polish, and Turkey speaks Turkish. And for the US, we know it's English. And Mongolia say Mongolian. And for Indonesia, you can say it's Indonesian, but as my research, it can also be written into Bahasa Indonesia. Bahasa means language, I think. And Vietnam speaks Vietnamese. And Germany speaks German. And I asked them, how good is your Mandarin? And so most of them can speak good Mandarin, like in their ordinary communication, there's no problem for them. But there's some people they aren't really good at Mandarin. I think is that English is good. Our Taiwanese have good enough English, so there's no problem in communication. And one of the interviewee who is from Turkish, she is the wife of a professor of NCCU, and she can speak little English and Chinese, and then she stayed here. She stays in Taiwan for a long time. So I think it's because, she doesn't have the need to learn Mandarin because her husband is Taiwanese. And how many languages can most of the people in your country speak, read, listen, or write? And in France, there are 2 French interviewees, and they say normally French can speak more than 3 languages. For Colombia, they can only speak 1, which is Spanish. And most of the interviewees, most of the countries are bilingual, which English is their second language because it's a universal language. Yeah. And here comes questions about the etiquette. And we give this to Julia.
Okay, so now I'm talking about the aspect of etiquette. So the first question, how do you express apology in your country? So you can see 8 of them just simply say sorry in English or in their own language in their own country. And 3 of them will hold hands like this to express apology. So interestingly, one interview from France say that they won't say sorry. So they say the people is quite impolite. And one of them say little bow, says sorry with a little bow and shake hands. So the next question is, are there any hand gestures is considered impolite in your country? So obviously, middle finger. And the second one is thumb between index and middle fingers. Middle finger is similar to the middle finger gesture. And also raise hand up, we have mentioned before. And calling people waving hand is calling pets or something.
I think for Turkish.
So the next one is who pays on the date. So 10 of the interviewees says usually men pays on the date, and 4 says separately, and 3 they split the bill. So actually they mentioned that in the traditional situation, men usually pays, but in modern days, like the younger people, they usually pay separately or split the bill. So the last one is house manners. So 4 of them take off their shoes before entering like friend's house. One of the interviewee from Colombia says you have to wait for the host before taking any actions. And 3 of them depends on the host. 5 of them prepare food or snacks gifts to give to the houseowner. And last one, they prepare towels. Okay, so the next aspect is about food. So welcome Julie to talk about this.
Okay. So we want to know whether a foreigner is familiar with Taiwanese food and what kind of dishes they usually eat in their special holiday. So we asked them whether, yes, so we asked them no. So we asked them which Taiwanese food is terrible, which is intolerable for them, and asked them to give us one traditional dish in their country. So the first question is the most intolerable food in Taiwan, and 6 out of our 14 interviewees say they can't stand the smell of stinking tofu. So this is the first place. And one of the interviewees especially mentioned that he doesn't like the texture of the fried stinking tofu. Yeah, the fried one. And the second place is the versary organ. Two of our interviewees mentioned that. I think it's because they didn't get used to eat this kind of like the pork liver, the pork heart. They can't stand it. And this like traditional Chinese medicine or dry radish omelette. The Chinese name is Cai Bo Neng. And also the pig blockade is mentioned, but I'm a little bit surprised that the pig blockade only mentioned by one interviewee. Yes. The next is I choose 3 of the interviewees' cuisines that they are mentioned because I think these 3 is more typical. And the first is yaprak sarmasi. Yeah, it's like Turkey's zongzi, and it was wrapped by the grape leaves, and it also add lemon. So it takes a little bit slight, and the more you eat, the more appetizing you get. And the second is tumpang, is Indonesian food, and you can see that the rice in the middle is like a cone shape, and it's made by some panda leaves and lemon leaf and coconut milk, and also the surmers leaves. Yeah, and the Indonesian people will use it as a birthday cake. And the third one is bitter melon soup. It's a Vietnam dish, and in Vietnam, how does it speak? It's like cu qua. And yes, it means you can roughly get through all the hardship. Yeah, this dish is me.
Next, I will introduce about the aspect in the living style. This is following questions that we asked the interviewees. The first question is, what type of building of people living in your country culture. Because we know in Taiwan, most of us are living in apartments. So the first place is apartments. 8 out of the 14 interviewees said they live in apartments. And second place is a house. And there is special one because we have interviewed one student from Mongolia. So he said the traditionals and common living type of building in Mongolia are the Mongolia yurt. And they say in their country it's pronounced like gira. So next question is, what do you do on weekends? So most of people do outdoor activities like go hiking or go climbing, and 28% do indoor activities like go to cafeteria or go to theater. And 21% go party or hang out with friends on weekends, like the student from Colombia. And only 14% of students stay at home on weekends. So next we ask how people in your culture feel the concept of time and punctuality. Because we have the stereotype that the student from Europe, they don't have the concept of time. So we ask these questions, and we can see these bar chart. Only 2 students from Poland and United States say they have very serious concept of time, and 4 students from France, Turkey, and Germany say they have average concept of time, and 6 students from France, Colombia, Mongolia, Indonesia, and Benin say they not mind about the concept of time. So next question, do most families have scooter or car in your country? Because in Taiwan, most of the families have both scooter and car. So we are wondering in their countries, this is a common sight or not. And only one interviewee said they only have scooter, and this interviewee from Benin. And 2 answers that they have both scooter and cart, and these 2 interviewees from Indonesia. So we can observe that most of Asia's countries family have the scooter, and 11 answers, most of them from the Europe say they only have car. And the last question is, do you want to try riding a scooter in Taiwan? And because we know in our generations, most of our parents don't want us to ride scooter in Taipei because it's a mass transportation. So the 5 answers that they don't want to ride a scooter because 4 of them think it's too dangerous, and 1 student think the public transportation is enough, and 9 answers said it's convenient, so they would like to try. The next part we invite Aaron.
Okay, so next is about the environmental questions, and we prepared 2 questions to our interviewees. And so the first question is, how does the climate in your country differ from Taiwan, and how does it affect daily life? And these are the 4 main answers. And our friend from Indonesia and Vietnam said they have dry and wet seasons. So in 1 year they will experience dry seasons and wet seasons. And the interviewee from France, Poland thinks that they experience 4 seasons in a year. And most of the students think that Taiwan's weather is unpredictable and unstable, and Taiwan has more humid than their countries. And the next question we ask them about are there any developments or policies of green energy? And students from Colombia, from France, from Poland, they don't use disposable tableware, and they don't have fuel gas too. And the next one is, most of the students from Western countries and from Turkey, they have wind energy and solar power. Solar energy, yeah. And in Turkey, they have hydroelectric power too. And the students from Vietnam and Indonesia, because their government their priority is to develop their economy. So it is quite hard right now for them to develop green energy. So because of their priorities, yes. Okay, so next one is our reflections. And for me, in this survey, I learned a lot, and there are a lot of challenges. So, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
It's okay, you can still continue.
Oh, thank you. And now, for me, I'm afraid to speak English to foreigners and some international students, but because of this chance, because of this survey, during the interview, they are like really nice and being patient to us. So, in my perspective, I learned a lot from this survey, and most of it I can like step on my comfort zone.
We still have time?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I've interviewed foreigners last semester, so I wasn't really nervous during this survey. And I think talking to people that is different from your culture is a skill that you need to practice. And I think this skill means a lot to me because I get to know other cultures better and meet various people around the globe. And it is might helpful to me. Maybe I can go on exchange or study abroad in the future. Okay, so because of the time limitation, we'll just show others reflection. And here's our photos. And now it's a Q&A section. So do you have any questions?
I want to go back to the green energy. I would like to ask if they don't use the postal table work, is because of the law or because they are willing to do it?
The first part I think is the law part. So because of the law, so right now they are willing not to use disposable tableware.
I think it's a very good question. Good, so any more? Feel free to ask or speak.
I think it's very interesting that you asked about the scooter part, because as Taiwanese, we are very used to riding scooters, but lots of foreigners from Europe, they don't like riding scooters. I think it's very good you asked.
Yeah, but actually lots of them want to try riding scooter.
What you said?
During my interview, because we divide into two teams, so maybe I don't really familiar with other interviewees.
Good, thank you for the comment. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting phenomenon. I wonder, so how many of them have ever ridden a scooter before?
In my process, there are two interviewees and they have the experience to ride a scooter in the Greenland and the Penghu, just the island.
Oh,
And one German interviewee we interviewed, he said he is already a master degree in Taiwan. So he has a lot of experience of riding scooter wherever he travel, maybe to Tainan or to Kaohsiung, he will rent a scooter.
oh. How about does he ride a scooter in Taipei?
I think he didn't actually mention.
Did you mention that? Oh, okay, I'm just curious. Good. Okay, so any others? Again, feel free to speak or ask. More questions, comments, suggestions from the first team? Yes. Joanna.
I'm surprised at the question, how good is your Mandarin? There are like 11 of 14 say
they're good at Mandarin. So
Because like you think like Mandarin is a little difficult to learn.
Yeah.
For this question, I didn't really ask them.
For this question, because NCCU has said the Mandarin courses, and most of the interviewees, they say they have learned the Mandarin in their original countries before, but in Taiwan they have the chance to say Chinese or write the Chinese words in the class. So they say they have good and fluent levels in Mandarin, and we say the good is they can say, they can read, and they can write.
Good, very impressive. So, in others? May I just ask, how did you find your interviewees?
Wandering around the campus, like it is quite difficult. Yeah, like maybe like near the Dayong building, the room square, and for these three girls, and we met them in front of the Jin building, and they are all from Turkish. And she is the wife of a professor from NCCU.
Good. For
The
the small
one with yellow t-shirt.
Oh, okay, good. So you're basically just fishing for the interviews?
Yeah, like they can be anywhere.
Okay, good. Very nice try. So any others? Maybe one more question, comment, suggestion? Any from the side here? How about Claire? Any question, comment, suggestion?
I would like to say that you mentioned Mongolia is in the Middle America, but I think it's not.
I'm sorry. I wasn't pretty sure. So where is it?
I think it's between China and
And Russia?
yeah.
Maybe it won't say the Middle Asia, not Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Middle Asia. Good. That means she's really paying attention to your presentation. That's good. All right, so any other questions, comments? Okay, if not, then thank you very much.